So we start this hour with breaking news: the pro-Palestinian protests on the area campus. And this afternoon, that escalated into arrests.
9 News reporter Lauren Scafidi has been on campus for hours watching this as it's evolved. What's the latest, Lauren?
Kim, Tom, we just got confirmation 15 minutes ago that campus police and Denver police arrested 40 people here on the Tivoli Quad. A lot has changed since we got here this morning. They are done setting up their camp again. Excuse me. So we are all
to be violent with the students.
So right now the group is done setting up that encampment again. Like I was saying, when police got here, protesters put all of these tents off to the side, and as soon as police left, they put these tents back up, and that's what you're seeing here right now. This is what it looked like as police were arrested, and they were arresting dozens of people. Protesters linked arms at one point to try to defend their encampment that they set up yesterday at noon, as they shouted things like, "Why are you here?" I asked a member of the Students for Democratic Society if there was anything here today that could be considered anti-Semitic, and he said no. Miri Kornfeld with Stand With Us Colorado doesn't agree.
Time you hear a statement such as "from the river to the sea," is there room for Israel in between there? What river are they talking about? They're talking about the Jordan River. What sea are they talking about? They're talking about the Mediterranean Sea. Palestine will be free. Is there room for Israel in the middle? No, there's not. And so that is calling for the genocide of Israel.
Protesters originally told me that they were going to go to the jail after their friends were arrested, but they've since told me that they are going to stay here on the quad and that they're ready for any weather. It is starting to drizzle now. We're hearing thunder and we've seen lightning, but they say that they are going to stay here. Live in Denver, Lauren Scafidi, 9 News.
All right, Lauren, thanks very much. Of course, we'll continue to follow that situation as it develops there in the area campus. We also have some traffic we need to let you know about. This is I-70, and on your left is the eastbound side of things that is now shut down because a little while ago a gravel truck unloaded its gravel, which isn't a good place to do it because people are normally driving by there. This making the Friday rush hour extra messy on the eastbound lanes. It happened about 1:30 near Kipling and Wheat Ridge. Apparently the truck cut off another pickup truck. The second driver then spun around and the crash happened. The semi rolled on its side and the load went across the interstate. Now they're getting it all cleaned up. Good news is no one was hurt in that accident.
But so many people heading out on Friday afternoon. And they're going to be greeted with some rain. We saw that in Lauren's live picture there. Also some snow this weekend. We got a lot of weather coming in. It is a springtime day, Kathy Sabin.
Kim, that's exactly right. The one word you left out was heavy. The rain will be heavy and the snow will be heavy. Thunderstorms yesterday were heavy. We had a tornado watch out. We had rotating storms, hail, wind. Today, it's another storm, and this one's got some cold air support. So scattered showers will start to develop during the evening drive. Don't be fooled by this picture in the high country. Overnight tonight, a winter storm warning for 1 to 2 feet of snow. And the rain in Denver tomorrow, which will be heavy, could mix with snow at times as well. The leading edge of the system bringing the rain and snow showers to the western slope. We're seeing a few light showers over Denver, and as Lauren Scafidi reported, a bit of thunder and lightning as well. That will be the trend throughout the evening. The severe weather threat tonight is low, but the showers will be increasing with the heavy thunderstorms, the dangerous tornadic thunderstorms east of us from Omaha, Wichita, down to the Dallas area. So tonight, the clouds will increase, the air will get colder, scattered showers will be heavy at times, and then the rain's going to get real heavy. By tomorrow morning, 5 a.m., heavy rain, heavy snow. And when I say heavy, I'm talking about 1 to 3 inches of rain and 12 to 24 inches of snow, which will impact travel on all of the arteries across Colorado during the day tomorrow. Tonight, mild with a few rain showers, a rumble of thunder. Get what you need to get done tonight because tomorrow's going to be a whole different weather story. Details on the timing and the impacts coming up.
Thanks, Kathy. Just happening within the last half an hour, the second paramedic convicted in the death of Elijah McClain will not spend time in prison. Instead, a judge sentenced Jeremy Cooper to 4 years probation and a year in a work release program.
Jeremy Cooper was the paramedic who actually gave the ketamine to Elijah McClain after police had stopped him. Of course, we know that Elijah McClain had done nothing wrong. 9 News reporter Jeremy Hola back with us from Adams County, where the sentencing just wrapped up. Joining us now with the latest. Jeremy?
Yeah, hi there. To reiterate the sentence here, this is a 14-month work release program. That means Jeremy Cooper, the paramedic who injected McClain with that fatal overdose of ketamine, he will be allowed to leave custody during the day, work, and then come back and report to custody at night. That will last for 14 months. And then on top of that, he also got 4 months of probation. So typically in Colorado, he'll serve that at the same time. This was a 2.5-hour hearing full of emotional testimony. I counted about 10 people who spoke on behalf of Jeremy Cooper. And again, he was the one who made the injection of ketamine. Prosecutors accused him of not doing anything to examine Elijah McClain before he made that fatal overdose injection. Cooper spoke in court himself too, and when he spoke in court, he directed his words towards Elijah McClain. He said, quote, "I am so sorry, we all failed you." At that time, Elijah's mother left the courtroom as he was speaking. She returned, she took to the podium, and she called Cooper a threat to her son and an accomplice to his murder. Here's some of what she said in court.
Do not say anything to me or mention my son's name in my presence while you enable and support an evil, careless legacy of a delusional mindset. You cannot evoke my son's name to absolve you of your own sinful nature. The lack of humanity in your comments are not a surprise at all. Eternal shame on you all.
And it has been 4 years and 8 months since police first had that fatal encounter with Elijah McClain. We've had 5 men who were indicted back in September of 2021. 3 of those men were criminally convicted of criminal negligent homicide. One of them, Jeremy Cooper, today. Many of those court dates occurred over the last 2.5 years. Elijah's mother appearing in court, having to relive the trauma of losing her son, listening to that testimony, seeing that body camera. And while we believe this could be the last court date today, there still are appeals that are expected in some of these convictions and some requests that are expected from some of the defendants here to request a lower sentence. So we'll see what happens in the coming months with this case. Back to you guys.
And that's an interesting point to bring out. Thank you, Jeremy. Another case that we are closely watching, the judge in the trial of a former Clear Creek County deputy who shot Christian Glass gave the jury a nudge this afternoon. She told them to keep deliberating until they reach a unanimous verdict, a move that is known as an Allen instruction. 9 News reporter Steve Stager was in the courtroom. He joins us from Georgetown. You've been there all week. You've been covering this case from the beginning, but it sounds like the jury is struggling right now to reach a verdict.
It does. And Kim, the surprising thing is we really haven't heard from the jury since they went into the jury room back on Wednesday, right around noon. They've been deliberating for 17 hours without a jury question that they've brought to the court, which is a pretty typical thing that you see in cases like this. Again, they're trying to determine whether or not Andrew Buin was criminally responsible for the death of Christian Glass. He's been charged with second-degree murder, reckless endangerment, and official misconduct. This jury can also charge him with a couple of lesser crimes when it comes to that second-degree murder charge. They could charge him, or they could convict him of manslaughter, or they can convict him of criminally negligent homicide. They were given lengthy instructions before they went into deliberation, so there are questions about whether or not those instructions are a bit confusing or just a lot to kind of get through. But this jury, again, has been at this for 17 hours. So the judge called them into the courtroom about 3 o'clock this afternoon and issued them what's called a Allen instruction. It's basically a keep deliberating until you reach a unanimous verdict unless you have to give up your own personal convictions in the deliberations and cannot reach a unanimous verdict. We asked our 9 News legal expert, Scott Robinson, about this, and he says that the judge must have gotten some kind of communication from the jury that led to this Allen instruction.
The judge will instruct the jury to try to agree, if they can, without sacrificing their beliefs as to how the case should come out. At this point, we don't know if the jury has agreement on any of the charges against Buin. It's possible they have agreed on some, but not on all, and it's possible they've agreed on none. The purpose of an Allen instruction is just to encourage jurors to continue deliberating. Sometimes that results in a very quick verdict after the instruction, And sometimes it ends up to doing nothing, and we wind up with a mistrial.
So the question on that, will it be a quick verdict after the instruction? You know, they've been here since Wednesday at noon. We're coming up on a weekend, about an hour left in the workday. Now, they could choose to go longer than this, and the judge in court reminded them there is no stopwatch on their deliberations if they need the time. I will say we did notice that the jury was in the courtroom earlier this morning, appeared to be watching some video. They're allowed to watch all the evidence in this case, and as you know, the video, the body camera video of that night is the key piece of evidence that the prosecution has put forward in this case, trying to convict Andrew Buin of second-degree murder. So the jury has been at least watching some video in the courtroom. That's the extent of the activity that we've seen from the jury. It'll be interesting to see what plays out in the next hour, if this jury is going to stay here or if they're going to give it up for the weekend and try to come back on Monday and continue their discussions. But for now, we're live in Georgetown. Steve Stager, 9 News.
Steve, it's always encouraging when you know a jury is taking their job so seriously, and it's a complicated case, and they continue to go back and look at the evidence. But at the same time, when you even think about the fact that they might not reach a verdict, going back to try this case again just sounds heartbreaking for everyone involved.
Yeah, you got to think about it. We've watched Christian Glass's mother and father in the courtroom almost every day of this trial. Now, they do get out of the courtroom during some of the more emotional moments in the trial. They have not watched the body camera video in this case yet. They can't bear to see what happened to their son. They've just been kind of working on a description of that given to them by their attorneys. So, yeah, I mean, if there is a hung jury in this case, there is the possibility that there could be a retrial on some of the counts or all of the counts. It's really just speculation right now, as we have no idea where this jury stands on any of those 3 counts, Kim.
All right, we know you're there, and you'll keep us posted. Thank you, Steve. When we talk about this case has led to the indictment of 8 members of law enforcement. Cases against 6 of them are still pending. Kyle Gould faced charges for criminally negligent homicide. While he wasn't on the scene, he gave the order to officers to break into Glass's vehicle. He pleaded guilty last year to 2 misdemeanors, including failure to intervene. A judge sentenced Gould to probation and $1,000 fine. He withdrew his certification, meaning he can no longer work as a police officer or security guard in Colorado.
Yeah, the graphic shows all those quarterbacks. We're down to 1, though, because a couple of hours ago down at Dove Valley, the Broncos did introduce their new quarterback, Bo Nix, to Broncos country.
He's the Oregon quarterback, Auburn, Oregon. We remember him most if you followed CU in the last couple of years. He's entering the league at 24 years old. He's got 5 years of college experience under his belt.
Let's get down to Scotty Gaines. He's at Dove Valley, where Bo Nix had a chance to get to meet the media. He even got to meet the Broncos insider, Mike Kliss, Scotty.
He did. That's a serious interview right there. We all got to meet Bo today, right? It's a little get to know Bo day. I tell you what, this doesn't mean so much in the grand scheme of things, but he couldn't have done a better job in his first impression with the media and officially with the state of Colorado. He was serious. He was friendly. He was mature. He didn't come and bring a corny catchphrase like some former Bronco quarterbacks did in their opening press conference. But most of all, he was thrilled to be a Bronco.
Truly can tell you this, if I could pick where I wanted to go, I was going to pick Denver because of the relationships that we had built throughout the process. I just felt like it was a great fit for me. I'm excited and don't think I have to show anything else because I'm at the perfect spot now, and just can't wait to get to work with the team.
It's so cool, right? He seems so comfortable being here and comfortable about to be an NFL quarterback. Now, of course, we'll show that conversation he had with our 9 News Broncos insider Mike Kliss later at 9 News at 5 o'clock. Tom and Kim, I know you guys were wondering if he was trying to get the number 10 that Zach Wilson just took. I asked him, I said, what's the negotiation tactic for it? He just had a big smile on his face, said, I'm going to let somebody else figure that out for me.
Yeah, that's probably not first of mind right now. He's got other stuff to work on. But he seemed great at that presser. He definitely seemed like a comfortable, confident, not so young man. 24 is different than 21, Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. I think coming from a 24-year-old myself, those couple of years help you out a whole lot.
I was going to say that, but I didn't know if you wanted to make the big reveal.
Well,
but
it's a great age, Kim. It's a great age.
You're
That is
very
24,
mature.
man, the perfect age to be right now.
In the year 24.
Yeah.
All right.